back. It's another episode of Different Kind of Genius. I'm your host, André Kufé. Just got to thank our sponsors quickly. Big shout out to Griffin Burger. If you live in Ballarat, you should be eating their food. And for the rest of it, let's just continue. It's always a special guest. This time, we have special guests because there's a few of us. But I'm here with the Get Shorty team. Get Shorty, what's happening?
What's up?
It's good.
Peace and love, my man. We made it. Here we are.
You made the big leads.
Yeah,
We might as well start us all off because there's a few of us, because there's no rules. We just do what we want. We might as well start from the right. Introduce yourself.
Great start. I'm JD.
Mikey,
I'm Jake. Or Yark.
a.k.a. the Yark.
Yeah.
No, but like shit. Couldn't thank you boys anymore for coming down. I know that this is something we've been planning for a while, but logistically, a nightmare. But we finally figured it out.
Yeah, big love, man. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Huge.
Pleasure.
No worries at all. But we might as well get straight into it. I obviously know what Get Shorty does. Tell the people, what does Get Shorty do?
Hey, man, it's simple. We're just a little barbershop, you know? We do our thing, and we do it well.
Whereabouts are you?
We're in central Geelong.
Central Geelong?
Little Malop.
Little Malop?
Yeah.
A little hotspot down there
That's
as well?
Yeah, there's a bit going on.
A bit going on?
Yeah,
There's always a bit going on.
Yeah,
it's Geelong.
Good. It's good.
Wait, but at least there's not too much going on where it's forced you guys out. Like, you've got the better spot in Little Malop, so it's actually a little vibe, if anything.
Oh, 100%. But it wasn't always like that, you know? It's crazy. So, and to jump straight back into it and to take you back a little bit, when we took that spot, there was literally no one on that street.
So what, no hot chicken project, none of that?
Not a thing. There was cartel coffee. I think hot chicken was...
Hot chicken was there, but just.
Around about. So the shop was inspired. I knew the spot I wanted. I was from Melbourne originally. And just by, the fate of God, we found it and took the opportunity. People thought I was crazy, said don't do it. And now look at us.
Bro.
Yeah.
You've done so well.
It's
And I remember,
flourishing now.
what was that?
It's flourishing now.
Oh, bro.
It's crazy.
I think there's like a whole sort of movement in Geelong now for like
For sure.
barbers. Like people are actually now wanting that style of hair. Like it's cool again.
Oh,
so let's like,
100%.
take
Yeah.
advantage.
People care again.
That's worldwide.
Literally.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So how long's the shop been open?
We're coming to 3 years, man.
3 years. And so obviously Mikey's been there the whole time.
Was there I think I got a haircut there week 2 and kind of never left. So,
You were like, what, do you want an apprentice?
dude, it was just came up with naturally in conversation. I had a mate that was getting haircuts at the shop Mikey was at. Messaged me one day. I was like, oh, my barber's moving to Geelong. Like, you should go get a cut. And then I think I booked in with him. Like, funny story, booked in with him and then had to reschedule the appointment and then rocked up the second time and we just got talking and I think it was one of those backhanded if you wanted to learn you can rock up and then I think he was hoping I wouldn't rock up and then 8 a.m. that Saturday I was there and never left.
Couldn't get rid of him.
Couldn't get rid of him.
Yeah. That's
It's
it.
a great asset.
That's it.
And then finally,
Yeah, I've been there for maybe, I don't know,
Was it a year and a
probably
bit?
just over 12 months
Around
maybe.
how did that happen? Because I was curious. I remember when that happened, I was just one day, I was like,
Yeah.
true?
I don't know. It was funny. I kind of it just sort of happened really. I had thought about maybe trying to get into it for a long time, and then I don't know. I just decided one day I'd maybe pull the trigger and put the feelers out. And I knew JD previously. He used to come through where I used to work at the skate shop, and I was like, all right, tomorrow I'm gonna message him and. Yeah, just to see how he got into it maybe and see what I have to do to potentially take that path. And he came into the store the next morning, before I could even message him. And
With
hit
the
him
worst
up.
haircut ever too.
Yeah.
What haircut did you have originally?
I didn't have one. I think that was the problem. JD vouched for me to Mikey. He was like, yeah, this guy, I think he could be all right. And I rolled in just sporting it. It was a long mullet.
It was like a dodgy home
it's
cut
pretty-
mullet or
pretty
something.
terrible.
So basically, this guy's interview, he didn't turn up day one. And this guy turns up with a mullet. And here we are today, right? So.
Yeah.
Oh, but look at the improvements. Look at the
it's
improvements.
Out of all the people, the only two that came back got stuck with us more once.
That's it.
No, but then bro, it's you boys have a vibe.
Yeah.
And I'll give you credit because you've probably had the first vibe. I felt anyway.
I appreciate that. It's great.
That was probably bias as well. Obviously Boom loves you boys dearly.
100%.
And then there was just the Friday nights, even just posting up after, hanging out at the shop. It was good fun.
Agreed. Yeah.
It's nuts to think what's happened now. with
Yeah.
Just everything and how it's happened.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. But I guess
Crazy.
it's hard to ask all three of your questions.
Yeah, just fire
Just
away.
like-
Yeah, of course it would.
But I'm curious, Mikey, how did you get into barbering?
Man, in a roundabout way. So hospitality runs through my veins, right? So service, kitchens, hotels, 10 years, corporate exec, rode that wave. Loved it, man. Was on a golden ticket with a big international company. It was going well for me. But I guess the writing was on the wall and I wanted to stay local. I started to move away from what I enjoyed most, which was being forward facing. Spent more time behind a computer, and I promised myself I'd never do that, and it ended up being 10, 12-hour days, 7 days a week, and I took that opportunity to just reassess, and I realized that to get back, front-facing, client-based, I needed to really take or make a change. And at the time, my barber, Fabian from Uncle Rocco, shout out, incredible guy, and we'd sort of shut the shit. For a good 10 years, he'd be my barber, and there really wasn't many, if any, doing what he did in Melbourne, in Australia. And he would kind of always throw or pitch the idea at me and said, look, you should become a barber. And I loved it. We'd kind of laugh about it. But no, one day he said, like, for real, why don't you do it? And at the time, I remember I just wanted to get my hands tattooed. And I was like, man, this could be a thing. And so we started to forge a path. And it was a bit of, I guess, commitment from both of us. He only had 4 chairs in the shop at the time, and he had to create space for a 5th chair. And I had to quit my job, basically. And we both kind of, with a gentleman's agreement, made that happen. And I quit my job in corporate hotels, and threw caution to the wind and became a barber, basically. Spent 3 years under Fab at Uncle Rocco's. Again, incredible team, and really learned about brotherhood, about barbering, about the culture, family, what that meant. And then when the opportunity came, Get Shorty's was born. So and here we are.
There was something you said there that was hella interesting. Like that's where you learnt brotherhood. What does that look like to you?
Yeah, I mean, again, take you back even beyond that. So I grew up, single mother, 4 children. She did an incredible job, man, but we moved a lot, poor family, rough neighborhoods, all through in Melbourne. I loved that. I wouldn't take anything back. It was an incredible opportunity. I had so much experience, and it really sort of made me the man I was today. But I guess what was missing from the household was that connection, that brotherhood, that connection with what it meant to be a man, so to speak. And I really think about the barbershop and what my time at Uncle Rocco's did for me, and I guess what we do for each other today,
True.
So yeah, that was a huge connection for me.
Yeah, I don't know, you said another gem there as well, and I think all three of us, all of us to be honest, if anyone's got an answer for it, share it. But what does a man look like?
That's a good question. Look, if you ask me personally, it's no doubt self-worth, but that's being human. I truly believe it. But vulnerability is the key thing, and I truly believe in today's day we don't have enough male role models who show true vulnerability and what it means to be, a head of state, but at the same time, someone who is fallible, you know what I mean? And we have those moments every single day, and we learn from each other, and we help each other, and we lean on each other. And to me, when I think about that question, that's what it is. A man is someone, there's strength there, but knows how to manage vulnerability and share it and grow from that. So
that's real too, because everybody, when they go to explain a man, it's just like big, strong, blah, 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 blah. But in reality, it's been vulnerable. And it's nuts to think about, because it's like, I'm sure we're all aware of, it's like, that's probably the biggest opportunity we have to grow.
Straight up, it's the hardest thing
100%.
too.
And being young and male is very hard because you are vulnerable, but you don't have any outlets to show that vulnerability. And so, again, I look at the barbershop and I look at the guys that I work with, and we give that to each other every single day. You know what I mean? So family, brotherhood,
Straight up. And it also sets the bar too. Like, other people see that and they're like, fuck, this is how 3 men are actually supposed to work together. No ego, no, everybody knows their role. It's literally, you've built a little sub-community within a bigger community.
100%.
People trip out. It's like, I don't know, everyone's like, we work together all week, but then we do shit like, I don't know, we all went to Melbourne today together, or we hang out outside of work, and people are like, oh, you that's a thing? And it's like, it's just, yeah, there's no question about it. it's not just a work thing for sure.
Yeah.
Because that low key took me by surprise.
Yeah.
Because last Monday you boys were all together, and I was like,
Yeah.
"What's every Monday? You still just link up and
Dude,
Pretty much, man.
more often
Yeah,
than
yeah.
not.
Yeah.
true."
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Theorize, inspire, motivate. We're all part of it, and we do it week in, week out. In work, out of work, 100%.
Well, I guess he's doing it so much, it all really just becomes normal at that stage, doesn't it?
It'd be weird if we didn't hang out.
Yeah.
I think everyone's pissed at me or something.
You'd be like, "Why is no one calling my
What'll I
phone? Like, what are we doing?" No, but well, shit. I guess we'll move that question on to JD. How did you get into barbering?
I got lucky, really lucky. I don't know. I was working I've had a bunch of jobs. I did a greenskeeping apprenticeship, didn't love it. Worked an office job, didn't love it. Worked hospo, didn't love it. Just trying to find something, and I was kind of leveling in. It was I felt really good when I left the barbershop after getting a haircut and just talking to people, whatever. And then, like I said, I had a mate that was getting haircuts at the shop Mikey was at. Mentioned he was coming down, and I literally, hand on heart, did not go into Get Shorty that day thinking I'd get a job, but just got chatting to Mikey, and he sort of, I guess I showed some sort of interest, and it just popped up naturally. And he's like, "If you're serious about it, come in 8 a.m. Saturday, sweep the floors. I'll talk you through what I'm doing. We'll do that for a while, see how it goes." And I showed up and just kept showing interest, kept sweeping the floors, kept meeting all the rad crew that were already going through there. That was week 2. There was already just cool people coming through, really good dudes. Everyone was friendly. Everyone could sort of, he was taking longer on cuts because he was explaining to me what he was doing. But people were chill with that, they were like, "Oh, he's actually helping someone." And that was the biggest thing. It's it's not just haircuts. We're all about helping people regardless of what it is. But yeah, just got super lucky, man. Swept the floors and never left.
And as a caveat to that, I will say, and in credit to JD and Jake, plenty of people come into the shop and they show interest, man, all day, every day. And, we have a forum for that. And we love when people are interested in the industry because we want to help grow that. We believe, a strong industry is a healthy industry, so on. But what these boys showed was heart, and because anyone can show interest, but heart is someone who shows passion, pride, belief in themselves and what we're doing. And, turning up at 8 a.m. on a Saturday every week, on your time, on your pay, on your watch, you know what I mean? That's credit to these boys. They did that, because they showed heart and they wanted to do it. So the easy part was, just saying, "Come on through," So back on them for sure.
True. Literally, the easy part was just giving it, providing the opportunity.
Yeah.
And then finish us off, Jake.
I was sort of the same deal. Like I said, I knew JD prior. I knew he was doing it, and it's probably the only person I knew personally that was actually working in a barbershop at the time. And it was just something that always fascinated me. Just to watch a lot of I don't know, barber videos on YouTube and stuff.
True.
Just before I go to bed. I don't know. I was hooked on it, but I cut some friends' hair and stuff like that from the kitchen with probably mum's meat scissors and stuff like that, I reckon.
Got to start somewhere.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to look back and see what they look like now that actually know how to half do it, But I was working at a skate shop for a while and knew I needed something that was going to provide a career, but something that was kind of creative too, and that I thought that I would enjoy. And I decided to hit JD up, put the feelers out, and it's maybe kind of looking for a third person, I'll speak to the boss, which is Dad, and he vouched for me, and I rolled in
with a
pair of camo shorts
Yeah,
and a
wow.
mullet
Camo
and shit,
shorts and a mullet.
Yeah, we've got a no shorts
Great
policy
setup.
too, right? Day one.
But we like a project that gets Shorty done,
Yeah, of
man.
course.
So yeah.
It was just wild.
Still
though.
a work in process.
The timing of all that, because maybe a month or two before that, we were I was starting to get busier. Mikey was already flat out, and we're like, shit, we probably need to get a third person. And then just out of the blue, old mate hits me up and he's like, "Oh, how'd you get into barbering?" I'm kind of keen. And knowing Jake and obviously working with Mikey, I was like, they'll get along like a house on fire. There's no question. So yeah, it just worked out.
Yeah.
Man, and to borrow your words, I don't even think you remember it, because I asked Jake at the time, and I said, what makes you want to be a barber? And he said, "JD is the only person I know who's happy with what he does." And I love that, you know what I mean? And that's your words, and that's, it's about JD, and it sums up what we do perfectly. It feels like a vacay, man. All of us retired. We're just chilling now, man. It's easy.
Retired early as well.
Yeah.
Can't
then-
believe it's a
That's
job, bro.
For sure.
It's credit to you boys as well. all pick the trade where you can literally go and do that anywhere you want.
Uh-huh.
Like you can be thrown in any environment. It's like, oh, I've got a pair of clippers and you can sit down like,
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess, so none of you went the conventional route, did you? So none of you like, I don't even like, what's the pathway like to become a barber? Like, do you have to do like TAFE kind of thing? Do you know what I'm saying?
Don't even know.
True. You
Yeah.
just all done it from pure experience.
That's it. You know, and
Self-taught, self-made.
that's it. It's really about that. You know what I mean? You can teach anyone to cut, but culture is a different thing. You know what I mean? So that's why I say, you know, the right people come through. You know, and to take us right back to your original question, how this come about? Like, Get Shorty is everything about it's been organic. You know, when we took the space in Little Malop, that wasn't planned. That just happened. When JD came through, that wasn't planned. That just happened. Same with Jake. You know. And I guess we really just stick and move. We roll with it, and it seems to work best for the brand. So,
Well, it's done so well.
Yeah.
Like
Thanks.
literally, it's like you establish yourselves nice and early, and like now look at it.
uh-huh.
I'll never forget the days when I used to be working in town. I'd walk past, and it was always just you two.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I got to the
Uh-huh.
third, I was like, that looks like a little happy family in there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
Yeah.
what am I missing out on? It's
Yeah.
like, am I in the right
Yeah.
occupation?
Yeah. You know, it's crazy too. I mean, there's opportunity for us, and we see the family expanding, no doubt. But we're there already as well. You know, if it does, it doesn't. It's cool. You know what I mean? We've made it. We made it, man. We're happy. We're real happy. You know. So what I mean. As it comes, we'll assess it.
And then like, man, it's hella important too, because that was a really interesting observation of JD. Like, how many people do we know are happy, like, doing whatever they're doing? Like, I only really know like a small handful, and then those are the ones where I'm like, I hope I find that one day.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Because it's just so sick to see them like flourishing in that environment.
Yeah.
Like, you boys are a perfect example of that. Boom's a perfect example of that. Like, it's like,
Sure.
I'm sure once upon a time, like, people told you, it's like, no, what are you doing? What are you doing? But then now it's just complete reward.
That's it. Like, I don't know. I'm sure, like, speaking personally, but I've done so many jobs where I wasn't happy. And, like, working with people that aren't happy as well, that brings you down. Like, I was working on, like, a golf course with, like, 24 other dudes. And, like, no one wanted to be there. No one wanted to be there. And it's just, like, how do you get motivated to do, like, work, let alone a good job of it, if, you know, no one's interested in doing it, right? Like,
And it's like, it's so true. Like, toxic workplaces, like,
Oh.
actually suck.
Uh-huh.
Like, there's no
So
positives to it at all. It's like, one, you don't want to be there. The people you're around don't want to be there. And it's just like, what are we even doing?
Yeah. I feel like we've all experienced that. Some
Yeah, straight up.
on it. There's a massive difference between like being content and being happy too, you know. Like a lot of people are probably content with where they're at but not really enjoying it, you know.
That's interesting.
But, yeah.
What do you reckon's the difference?
Oh, I don't know. Like rolling into work, like feeling good and then rolling out of there feeling the same way, you know. Just pretty much every day.
As
I drive
opposed-
JD home every day because he lives three blocks away from work.
But you wouldn't have it any other way.
No,
You had to
exactly.
put that in too.
Of course
yeah.
you could.
Yeah, 5.5 minutes of just debriefing on the day, but it's a good thing. Like I leave work and still talk about it, but I'm not complaining about it, you know. So
But then it's important because
that's a
that
good thing.
offers like opportunity. Like, if something was bothering you, it's like you've got opportunity to get it
Yeah.
off your chest.
100%.
And I'm like, sure, between the three of you, it's like, if someone's got an issue, it's like, you're not just going to hold on to it,
Nah.
stew
Never.
on it, and then like let it keep bothering it.
Never. That's it. Full transparency, and we make that clear.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
You know?
We
Yeah.
let each other
Yeah.
know about shit every
No,
day.
no shorts.
Yeah.
You're just like, we have a no short policy and that's
Yeah,
it.
man.
Yeah.
I did. Well, I was that last week was like 39 degrees or whatever, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna push it. We kind of maybe discussed the no shorts thing, so I wore shorts. I rolled in, and Mikey, as soon as I walked in the door, was in hello. It was like, fuck off, you're kidding. No. That was it all day.
You literally
All
didn't
day.
get a
Let
hello
me-
out of him.
No, no,
There was
One
no
in,
hello.
all in, man. That's,
No,
that's the
that's
way
right.
it is. You know?
That's it.
right.
You got it. You got it.
it's good.
No, but like, I don't know. It's like, it's so sick. And
We do have air conditioning, just so you know.
Yeah.
you're not just toughing out 30
The hot days and
days.
the cold
days.
ones and
No,
shorts,
of
man. I'll
course
never do
not.
that again.
Yeah.
And then like where you're positioned, like the sun doesn't get you that bad.
No,
No, we're
Compared
lucky.
to if you're on the other side,
Yeah.
that'd be,
No,
Yeah,
a
it's
nightmare.
right.
It's totally fine.
That'd be a nightmare.
Mm.
And no, it's like, it's just different because so like trying to juggle
Yeah.
all of us.
Yeah.
No, but I guess let's just talk about life, hey.
Hi, man.
Yeah.
Like we've all been there, we've all experienced different things, and it's like with four of us, it's like we've all got a different perspective. So it's like literally, let's think of somewhere and start.
I got somewhere. Dude,
us
how
with.
big are your feet? I just gotta ask.
bro,
Yeah.
bro,
Ian Thorpe's back.
it's
Wow.
so shit. I'm not gonna lie. You know, like the worst thing about being tall is people come up to you and they're like, "Oh, how good is it being tall?" Rah rah rah. And I'm like, when I tell them, I'm like, "There's no positives." They
Yeah.
just look at me funny, and I'm like, "You don't get it. No pants fit, so you have to sag your pants all the time,
Yeah.
All right.
like because they're just not long."
Uh-huh.
Good problem.
And then you,
Yeah,
until like your parents, your grandma, everyone's like, pull up your pants, and it's
Yeah.
just like,
And your
Uh-huh,
ankles get
uh-huh.
cold.
yeah, literally, it's like, I'm not doing that. And then the worst thing, if your foot size gets over a 13,
Good luck getting shoes.
bro.
Oh,
Over.
man.
And like
Yeah.
you're a sneakerhead as well, like you
Yeah.
know, like there's
Yeah, but I'm a 9 though, so I'm chilling. Like sample size.
yeah. I
8 and
saw the
9.
envy. Yeah.
yeah, like, it's like you feel it. Like
Mm.
you can go on any website, look up shoes, go to like filters, click the sizes, and
Forget
it
about
stops at 13,
Yeah,
14.
forget about it.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
You're limited to like DCs and Globes, right?
bro, and then the old fat puffy
All the
ones.
fresh
Yeah,
ones.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
You're like, who's making these for people
Yeah.
our size? Like, surely someone's looking at it like.
Yeah.
And then what blows me away? Evan Smith. He's a tall
Oh,
skateboarder.
yeah.
But his shoes stop at 13.
The lank.
I'm like, bro, I know you have a bigger foot than that. Like, look
crazy.
after us all.
Crazy.
It's crazy.
Selfish.
It's nuts.
Yourself.
There you go.
No, but I guess you've traveled the world a lot.
Yeah, a little bit.
And especially going to different barbershops and stuff.
Mm.
And I've always wanted to ask, did you learn... So the culture that you're trying to create, did you learn that through your travels?
Man, great question. And I bring it up with the boys
Yeah.
all the time. It's not what I learned, it's what I learned I don't like the most. Traveling the world and going to barbershops. And I can't tell you how many times, you know, as a barber, I'm thrilled, excited to walk in and, you know, meet some brothers or sisters from, you know, from the industry and see how they do. And you get crickets and tumbleweed rolling through these barbershops. There's no connection. So again, it's what we take from that. And for me, it's let's make sure this doesn't happen in our shop. That's really, really important. So yeah, you pick up some good things, and there's some really cool people in the industry. But for the most part, it's learning what you don't like. I find that really helps us build what we're doing.
But that's real too. Like,
Yeah.
in essence, everything what we do is like we base it off probably an already existing idea.
Uh-huh.
And what we adapt from that is, okay, idea, barbershop, sick, 4 stations, blah, 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 blah. But it's missing something.
Doesn't always work.
And
exactly
it's like, and because you've gone out there, experienced it, you've realized this is what's cool, but this is what it's missing. And the fact that you're able to put those two together, it's like...
So, and my thought on this is potentially you've got 4 individuals with 4 different agendas coming from 4 different places, and they're converging, you know, so that culture doesn't mix, you know. With respect to our shop, you know, we all came one by one, and I work with it all the time, but the idea of each one teach one, you know. So I made it, and I made it my obligation to teach the next guy, and then he made it, and he taught the next guy, and that's what we do. And we stand by that. And I think that really helps create that synchronicity within the shop, which then obviously generates culture. So,
But then, like, even, like, that's empowerment. And it's so important. Like, think about how, like, we've all said it. We've all been in workplaces that don't care about us.
Yeah.
And the biggest way that happens is they don't try and upskill. It's like, Mikey, here's a task. And you're just like, I've never done this before in my entire life. And they're like, figure it out. We all did. And you're like, figure it out, I will. So it's so much better the fact that you offer that guidance, and it's like, if Jake can't ask JD the question, he comes to you, and it's just
of course,
bouncing around the whole time.
Yeah. We lean on each other for sure. You know, even today we sat down over breakfast, and, you know, what do we want to do next year? And I kid you not, the most resolute answer was, we just want to be better barbers. You know, it's what we work on every single day. You know, and it's getting to a point that we're all learning from each other now. I love it. So it's fantastic, man. I'm really proud.
Or like, you've got Jake watching YouTube videos. He'll come in one morning and he'll be like, boys, look what I
Yeah,
learned
you found some
yesterday.
shit and we're like, oh.
And it really is like that. You know, it's
Yeah.
crazy. You know, it's really, really cool. So it's a real learning culture.
But then, like, fuck, you know what else it is too? And I have to give credit when credit's due. Like, you created another safe space.
Yeah.
Especially for men too. Like, there's one thing we talk about here. It's like, there isn't many of those places. Like, where else are you going to go to learn, like, what a man is and, like, showing vulnerability? Like, you go to any other place and it's, like, just toxic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like, you've done so well to be the difference there.
Look, I learned the hard way, but I was fortunate enough. So I've gone through divorce, and that's tough on anyone,
How long ago was that, sorry?
Oh, look, 4 or 5 years ago now, I think. But it was interesting because that occurred around about the same time when I was in my first barbershop. And if it wasn't for the people I was working with, if it wasn't for the clients who sat in my chair, that would have looked really different for me, But I could show that vulnerability, learn from other people's experiences, grow from that, and have that collective support. It was huge, man. Now, if I take that and then really think about, that scenario and then put myself back in a suit and tie, and as a male in a corporate environment, I don't think I would have had the space to be vulnerable. And that would have been really hard. It would have been really, really difficult to navigate that path and lean on other people at the time, because you're just not allowed to. You have to put that mask on every day and, be that, that leader, I guess. And that's not cool. It doesn't fly. And so I feel like for me, that's where the barbershop really worked. And that's where I really took, I guess, note for myself, how important a space like that can be, and we all got our issues, we all come in with it every single day, and we work through it, it's really cool, and look, I look at JD, I'm super proud, this man is worked through, and if I'm going off kilter, but just tell me, but, as a young kid, depression and suicidal thoughts and stuff like that, one of the happiest guys I know now, you know what I mean? To have a space like that, so, if we're doing it for one person or two people, and then these boys are doing it for 2 or 3 people, it's a lot of people you're helping,
Oh, for sure. And then, because that's everything you described in how we're not able to express and stuff. That's almost the position society's boxed us in. Like, as I said, he spoke on your behalf, but feeling like that. Everything we're told in society is like, keep your mouth shut and just tough it out.
Yeah.
It's like, we're all well aware now that is not how to deal with those problems.
Yeah, exactly
the 2 words that nearly broke me, in my career as an executive before and preceding my divorce was man up. I just don't understand them. You know what I mean? What does that mean? And how many people, hear that daily, and it breaks my heart to think there's a lot of men out there who hear that, and we don't know, we're shouting on the inside, but we don't know how to work around that, but we're told to man up,
Then, bro, it goes so much deeper than that. Because think about when man up's actually used. Like, the only time people genuinely say it is to encourage the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Correct.
Straight up.
Like, it's never ever used for
true.
like you're never using it for like a positive affirmation. It's literally, it's like, I don't like the way you're behaving. Man up and tough it out.
Oh, you got depression? Man up. Oh, anxiety today? Man up. You know what I mean? Where do we start with that?
And then and then I'm curious, and you don't have to if you don't want to, but
No, go
what
for it.
spun that around?
Dude, the barbershop.
Oh, so that all happened at the
Straight
same
up,
sort
man,
of
like-
time.
I mean, like, it comes and goes, everyone's got, good days and shit days, but I was just having more shit ones than good. And then, like, coming into work and actually being happy, or even if I wasn't happy, having someone to talk to, that wasn't just, like, me talking at them. It was like they were listening, giving feedback or ideas or whatever, like, all that sort of stuff, man. And even on the flip of that, being at the barbershop and cutting people that are, having a way worse time or going through their own shit and thinking, oh, it's maybe I'm not that bad, Things like that. Like, you hear different things, you meet different people that are doing crazy jobs or crazy hours or toughing it out, doing whatever.
Yeah,
And it's
hear
like,
some shit.
yeah, for sure.
He doesn't see this, but he has young kids sitting with him now who are listening, who are learning. I love that. For me to step back and to watch that happen, it's incredible. It's a beautiful thing because it's that next generation, with positive male role models.
Bro, it's literally, as you said, it's like, once upon a time, started with 1. Now branched out into 2. And it's just keep growing, keep growing, keep growing. But then, credit to you all, because you've all, even before I met Jake working at Get Shorty, like, you reached out once upon a time to sort of deal with some issues that were happening your way.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until that moment where I was like, you're really different. Like, there were so many other people that just like, and we're talking about skate parks just for reference, but like, we all know that fucking, it's a place to be alone.
Yeah.
It's almost like a place for a young person to feel like an adult.
I like that.
And-
It's cool.
But because of that comes with so many negative, it's negative role modeling once again.
Yeah.
And it was a big thing for you to be like, this is happening in my local area. I want to switch this up. And you see it now,
Yeah, it's crazy.
like your local skate parks clean as now. It's,
Yeah,
it's a
man.
safe place,
Yeah,
once
it's
again.
good. It's real good. Changing face. I think between the three of us, we've probably done like a lot for each other, even without knowing too, you know. Like
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah.
on
I know.
on all scales, and probably a lot for people that come through more than we know too, you know. I think. Like,
What would be an example of that for you, though?
what's that?
What's an example of that for you?
Oh, I don't know. Some people come and sit in the chair and tell you some pretty right-off stuff, you know. And yeah, I guess being like a neutral person for those people, they feel like they can offload, you know. I guess, yeah, being like a voice for them, or even like a voice of reason, you know. Sometimes you can see like within the half an hour, or whatever, that they're walking away maybe with some more clarity, you know. Which is, I think is a good thing.
And you know what I just realised then? And it happens probably indirectly. Because of society telling a man to man up, the only time we really get an opportunity to be vulnerable and express how we feel is in a barber's chair. Like, you boys do so much accidental counselling that it wouldn't even be funny.
Yeah,
Yeah, straight up.
yeah, for sure.
Because literally, like, if I'm to sit there, especially with a stranger, someone I haven't met, give them full control of my head and just think, you're either going to fuck me up for the next 2 weeks, or it's like,
For sure.
I'm going to walk out of here and be like, thankfully I trusted that man.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's a two-way conversation as well. It comes back to us. You know, we learn a lot from the people that sit in our chairs. And I think that the true art of barbering is taking what you learn and then passing it on. So your knowledge collectively becomes stronger, and then you've got, I guess, more to work with, you know, in terms of what you're saying, in terms of counselling as well. You know, we don't start off with all the answers. We never have all the answers, but you certainly, through other men's experiences, are able to collect that and then help other people learn from it as well. So, you know.
And but then, like, that's where it comes back to the importance of those spaces. Like, where else was that like, honestly, where else was that going to happen for men?
I can't think of one.
Doesn't happen at football clubs. Doesn't happen in any sport.
Right.
Like, it's really not happening.
That's it.
And it's just, yeah, it actually blows my mind to think that that's where it's like, that opens a door for so many great things to happen.
Completely.
Because then you'll have that conversation with one of you boys, and then, like, you'll be like, look, that's kind of fucked up. But, you know, that happens.
Yeah.
And then that reassures them. They're like, yeah, it really does. And then, like, there's two ways to go from that. Like, if it's a real bad thing, you're like, look, I wouldn't, like, you can't tell people what to do, but it's like, when I felt like that, I went and got help. And then just another person being able to hear that, they're like, true. So I'm not like, I'm not
Different.
a coward if I go do that.
Yeah.
100%.
Because that's the weirdest thing. It's like, I don't know, it blows me away. And, like, we speak about it all the time, but it's like, you know, you hurt yourself, you go to a doctor. It's like, when there's some shit upstairs, we just don't want to deal with it.
That's it.
But then the weirdest thing is, who tells us not to deal with it? Like, it's like, we're just like, oh, some shit's happened upstairs, like, fuck it.
Yep.
Like,
But that's
so
a societal conditioning again. Man up. You know, that's what we're told. 100%. Yeah. And I love it too, because, you know, to think that 30 minutes, we see so many men come in, and again, I can only really think about a lot of men who are in, again, a corporate scenario where, you know, suit and tie, they're not allowed to come outside their little box. And within that 30 minutes, you know, they'll sit down and they'll tell us that, you know, they can't stand their wife, they hate their boss, they want to kill their dog, right? But within 30 minutes, their hair's done did, they're looking 110, they stand up, they dust themselves off, and they say, thank you. You know what? I love my wife. My boss is a cool guy. I'm going to go walk my dog. And it's so cool. And you see
Here's
that?
another day.
Yeah. And it's just the rhetoric. It's the rhetoric. It's allowing them to have the space to be free and vulnerable, and then to build themselves back up. And not only that, look 110 and walk out.
because at the end of the day, like, that's also something great that you, like, that a barber has the opportunity to do. Someone sits down, like, if it's me sitting down all nappy, I walk out, turn around, dap boom up, I'm just like, I'm good.
Yeah.
It's
Not
like,
bad.
100%.
That's
Yeah.
it.
and literally it does set mood, because whenever you're feeling down, like, and you go and get a hair, like, I don't know, there's something therapeutic about it for me.
100%.
Like, the sound of the
Absolutely.
clippers, like,
Yeah, everything, man.
just, and then just the way, like, just everything about it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's how I sort of leveled it down. I was like, again, not happy in my job or whatever, and I was like, fuck, the only time I feel actually good is after I walk out of getting a haircut. Like, not only because you got a fresh haircut, but because you talk to someone or you learn some shit or whatever. Like, so many things to it, man.
There really, really is. And And especially like if you're feeling depressed and stuff, the only time you will go out, hopefully, is probably to potentially get a haircut.
Straight up.
Because like you don't have the confidence to go out and like participate in any social settings. So it's like you take the big enough risk alone just to go get a haircut because someone's been grilling you, probably your parents.
Yeah.
And you're just like, fine, I'll go get a haircut.
This is where it starts.
Yeah.
And then you sit there and then the world just changes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what they need? They need to put like psychologists and barbers side by side.
Boom. Yeah.
Like it'd just be like,
Yeah.
it'd be the biggest cash ticket as well. It really would. It's like, oh, I can go and complain about my life. Well, I'll get a sick haircut. Yeah, done. Done.
Love it.
That happened.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like it really happens.
That's it.
But, no, but I guess it just comes back to us. Like, if the three of you were brave enough to like establish that position, hold on to that position, because it's not easy. I'm sure all your friends looked at you and were like,
the
What
hell
are we doing?
Yeah.
and then now look at the outcomes. It's just like
Yeah.
you've all grown incredibly.
Yeah.
Even in the small amount of time that I've known
Yeah.
you for, like, you really came all the way out of your shell.
It's crazy. I was
Yeah.
definitely in a show.
For sure,
100%.
huh?
Yeah,
This guy.
100%.
Yeah.
And I just thought once upon a like it was just that like you just don't know me that well, so it's like I'm
Nah,
not going to
that's-
like force things
That's
out of
just
you.
me.
No,
Yeah.
but after hearing about it all
Yeah.
and seeing that from how it started, I'm like, well, fuck.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Massive.
Like I said, like there's still good and bad days. Like you have your days where you're like, oh, you know, and you shell a bit or whatever, but then you sort of remember like, all right, the crux of my day is cutting hair, hanging out with rad dudes and drinking coffee. It's like, what I got to be upset about, man, you know?
It's like not much.
Not heaps.
And
Not
then
heaps
no-
at all.
And then like credit to Jake. But every time you walk past, you just see Jake just like doing a pop shovel with a broom. He kicks the broom, does a pop shovel, catches it. I'm like, I see you. I
That's
see
true.
you.
Yeah.
It's like it'd be hard to
Broom
stay
tech.
down.
Oh, you can't have a
Yeah.
shit day with these two around, man.
Yeah.
It's not possible.
What were you saying? Sorry, Jake.
Oh no, no. It's just fucking around.
It's like it was 360 pop shop.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry.
Just saying, spend a bit
Switch
of time.
you, get it
Spend
right.
a bit of
Yeah.
time on the broom early,
Yeah.
that's for sure. Yeah.
No, but like we all got to start somewhere, and it's like,
Yeah, that's it.
why not start there?
Yeah, that's it.
That's it, man.
Yeah, it's pretty transitional, I think. Probably for me and JD too, especially when I first started, I was working a full-time job and then spending my RDOs at the shop and kicking it, and then did that for a long time, and then kind of transitioned where I was like phasing out of my old job and phasing into this. That was like not hard at all because I was having a good time, but like financially and that sort of thing, like that was a big commitment.
We'll put it in,
for me to
put it in
actually,
perspective for you.
chase that.
Jake just started full time without telling us.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the
Mikey
best.
was like, "I will give you a bit of a timeline of when we want you to do it," and I just I don't know, just did it
lean into it, you know what I
myself.
mean? And
Yeah.
he was loving it so much. So one day we just rolled up, and
Yeah.
there he was, full time,
Yeah.
book client. We're like,
What was it?
Yeah.
Like you went away for like 1 or 2 Tuesdays, so Jake was there,
Yeah.
and then
that was it for the
that
rest
was
of
it.
the
He
time.
was just there every other Tuesday. Like
Yeah.
no one said shit, nothing. It was
And
just like,
my
oh,
set days were like, it was like Friday, Saturday for a bit, and then it ended up being like Wednesday to Saturday, like, after a bit of time went on, like without Tuesdays, and yeah, Mikey popped off somewhere for a couple of days, and I think I was like, all right, started booking people in for Tuesdays myself.
yeah.
Rest is history, man, and that
Yeah.
just goes to show that's the shop.
Yeah.
It's very organic, and
Yeah.
he
So funny.
he wanted to be there, and
Yeah.
before we knew it, Jake was there full time, and no one said anything. We just like, all right, another day, another
Tuesday,
Jake.
was it?
Yeah,
Oh.
that's it, man. I love it, and I love that's how it rolls out. you know.
And the best thing about, and like, I'm so happy that you interjected with that because I was gonna say, I'm like, was it daunting, like having to do that? But from
No,
the sounds of
he
things,
didn't give a
Jake was
shit,
like,
man.
Yeah.
I hate my job. This is what I want to do.
We're like, yo,
Sick of being in between. I'm just calling. I'll put myself on.
Yeah.
Wrote my own contract. And
Tuesdays with the Arc, man.
Yeah,
that was
Tuesdays
it.
with the Arc,
It still
yeah.
is. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
No, but that's like, but it's sick,
Yeah.
and it's credit to you as well that you're able to accommodate that.
Yeah, man. Look, I really stick to the mission, and it's funny because I can't talk to other barbershops, but I know what I know. And, the biggest difference for me, and I kind of look at it like most people are working extrasensibly, like working on the outside in. For me,
Wait, break that down a little bit.
all
more.
right, so they're trying to make a big impact outside of their immediate vicinity, and that might give them intrinsic value. Okay, for me, I'm trying to work with the boys with me immediately because I see that idea again, each one teach one. If I can make an impact on 2 men who grow, or 2 boys, let's say, who grow to be incredible men, you know, and then they do it for someone else, then that legacy continues, man. You know, and if I hang my hat up at the end of the day, and I can look back on that and say, there's some incredible man in my life, you know, who I helped, you know, come through, then my job is done, you know, and that's what the barbershop is about.
But then, like, that's real too, because how I interpret that is almost one of your goals is to leave this place better than how you arrived.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like, that's actually like, fuck, if more people did that, the world wouldn't be the way it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. And we really work to the idea of think big, act small, okay? So we're always scheming, man, like big. We want to be the greatest in the world. But if that means no more than 3 people who cut hair every day, you know, and are brothers in arms, then we made it. We've arrived, you know? But think big, act small. And we just do the small things every single day because we believe that creates greatness.
It really does. Because, like, greatness just doesn't happen.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like it's a slow, gradual build up, and it's like learning from new people, like gathering new information, putting it all together. Greatness spawns.
That's it.
That's it.
And it's also like, yeah, and you're like, and you really set the bar. Just because obviously you Get Shorty, and I obviously can go around to other places, but I look at it and I'm like, that really worked. And give you credit again, you were first, to my knowledge anyway. And now just seeing the carry-on effect from that, like now more and more safe spaces for men are popping up all throughout Geelong.
Yeah.
Whether they be barbershops, they can be other like creative hubs like Analog Academy. Like there's actually
fantastic.
so many.
So sick.
Shout out to those guys. They got a cool thing
Yeah.
on.
Oh,
Sure.
Space.
Like they've,
Sure.
like we've got some future stuff,
Yeah.
and I'm so glad to be doing it with those like those guys because they're a solid crew.
Yeah.
And not only that, like in what they want to do, I think it's beautiful. Like keep Geelong weird.
Yeah,
Like everyone else is like, don't do that.
Nah.
It's like, what do you mean?
Go weird.
We are individuals.
for sure, man. It's cool.
Yeah.
And it's like everyone's trying to compete with Melbourne, and it's like, nah, we're not Melbourne. We're like, we are Geelong.
Yeah. There's a few people setting the pace for the city for sure.
Oh, there really
good.
is.
It's really good.
And it'll be like, it's nuts to think what'll happen in like a few years' time.
Yeah.
Like when like, think about having big abandoned buildings all throughout Geelong, like just waiting for people to
That's
take
it,
them
man.
over.
That's it.
And there's got to be the right people as well, because no one wants them. So it's just
Yeah,
like,
that's it.
It's coming. It really feels like that, doesn't it?
100%.
Yeah.
but in like every way, I don't know. I feel like in terms of everything, Australia's got a bit of a spotlight right now.
Uh-huh.
Just like whether it be sport, like well, Mellow Ball's in the league, and now all of a sudden NBL games are selling out.
Yeah, right.
NBL games get as much attention as like over. It's like what?
Mm-hmm.
And music scene's thriving,
Massive.
Yeah.
and like we're adopting our own things. Like barbering's now a massive part of the culture. Like it's really, really, really good to see.
That's it. And credit to you, man. What's this episode?
Shit, what will this be,
28?
Liv? I think this will be 33.
Wow, man.
Bro.
You know?
Man.
Like I remember like telling it loosely to you. I'm like, you know,
Yeah.
like do
Yeah.
a podcast with Boom. You're like, about what? I was like, oh, you know, like life and that.
Just shit,
Yeah.
like whatever.
Talk about young brothers doing good things. This is huge, man.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
man.
The setup's sick. Everything's cool.
Like man, like I couldn't have done this without the city though. I have to be completely real. Like who the fuck am I?
Then here we go.
Yeah.
Geelong, though, right?
And I was like, I'm able to get to this position because men just like yourselves, women as well, and everything in between are doing dope stuff.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would never have the opportunity to be celebrating it. And it's like, that's a weird little learning thing that I've realised. I know I'm like a real like mad, moody individual. And I've realised that
Wait,
like,
who is? You are?
Yeah.
I don't see it.
no, like,
That's because I only see you at the barbershop, right?
true, no, but every time I see it, like, I'm happy there.
Yeah, that's
Like
what I'm
I walk
saying.
in and
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
like, but then like, literally, like JD, like one day I wake up and be like, fuck all of this.
Happens.
But then like,
Yeah.
So how do you make this happen?
and shout out to Cody George, because he made me realise it. I realised that I love seeing other people win. And actually like, it makes me feel good when I see the same people that were like just roughing it with once upon a time actually winning. Because then it almost acts like another motivator for me. Because I'm like, I remember where we came from.
Yeah.
And it's like, there was a time that like neither of us, like none of us would have assumed this. And now look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I get reminded of that when I see the boys that I grew up with just like rolling through Geelong. We don't have heaps of time, but they'll see me, come up, tap me up, give me a hug, and they're like, I fucking love what you're doing. I'm like, bro, I love what you're doing. I'm like, what do you mean? And then after that, yeah, it was good because it made me move away from being flat all the time. Rather, I was like, sick. Now when my homies are winning, I can actually celebrate it. And it's not like just a weird feeling anymore. It's like, I know what's going on.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Bro, it's like,
Man.
I don't know, I'm just thankful for it to happen.
Yeah.
And it's really what birthed this as well. Like, because when I really think about it, it's like, that's all this is. It's like celebrating people that are winning. And it's just sick that we have a community here in Geelong where we're all doing that.
There's people winning. Yeah.
There's a lot of people doing it too. Like episode 33, see that coming so quick.
A lot of winners.
It's crazy,
Yeah.
yeah.
A lot of winners.
Yeah, man.
And like, majority's all been from Geelong. We've had a few Melbourne
Yeah.
cats, we've had a few like from other places, but Geelong, we've
Yeah.
set the bar.
Yeah.
And I think it's making, and one of the biggest things I hear, like you boys obviously know what I do, but from young people, they're like, it's so sick to see so many people in Geelong doing cool stuff. Because what I didn't realise was it motivates them also. Because they're like, no, you have to be in Melbourne if you want to do dope shit. What do you mean?
Yeah, that's it.
Like, we've got the big people from Geelong going to Melbourne to take advantage and then coming back.
That's it.
Like, but then I guess, as you said, we need a role model to learn that. Because you just can't tell us.
I love what you said before, though. You love seeing people win, you know? And that's that idea of success begets success, or happiness begets happiness, you know? And look at you now. It's great. It's a beautiful story, man, you know?
True.
And that's what I mean. It's a two-way thing. We hear about this in the chair all day, every day. So, and I'd like to make a point of that, you know? Barbering isn't just about, you know, us as stylists. You know, we don't see ourselves as rock stars at all. You know, we are in a service-based industry. And we take note of that every single day and are thankful for the stories that we hear as well, because it helps us grow, you know? So that's what I mean. So hearing that, that's inspiring, man. That's huge.
True.
So credit.
Man, like, we all winning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like, that's the most important
Yeah.
thing, like, because we all know what it feels like not to feel like you're winning.
Uh-huh.
So now that we're feeling like we're winning, it's like, sick. I
Yeah.
don't want to lose this feeling.
Yeah,
so
hang on
it's
to
like,
that shit.
That's right,
yeah,
right.
literally.
Yeah.
And then, which is good. And JD, like, got me for wrong, but I'm only speaking from my own perspective. But because I know that's happening, it encourages me to go out and seek more things like that.
Straight up. Yeah.
Instead of where once upon a time when you were feeling flat, you looked for any reason not to do some shit.
100%, man. So many excuses. So many. Like, you could find it in anything to not do some shit. But, yeah. And it helps as well having people around you as well. Like, I mean, like, I used to shut everyone out and just not want to talk, not do anything. But it's like, I don't know, if you're going to, you know, work each day and you got two guys there that, like, you're relying on, but they're relying on you too. It's like, even if you're having a bad day, like, all right, let's flip that around. These dudes are looking after me. I need to look after them too. You know what I mean? Like, it's...
He hates holidays now.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
I took my first holiday this year after like 2.5 years of being at the barbershop.
Hate.
And it
What
was
was
a
that?
week. I went to Japan for a week. And that was pretty much only because he was kicking my ass because I've never been overseas before.
Yeah.
I did a week and I came back. I flew in that Saturday morning. I went straight to work to say what's up because I missed everyone. I walked in. I was like, oh, what's new? Everyone's like, it's been a week. Shut up.
Everything's the exact
Yeah,
same.
nothing's changed.
I love it.
The
But
2 days
yeah, straight up.
beforehand.
Misses the shop.
I
We all
don't-
do.
I don't want to go.
Mm.
I don't
Yeah, I
want
was
to go.
off
No,
it.
I don't want to go.
No. But we all get like that.
Yeah.
You know
You
what I
really
mean?
do.
Yeah. We really do. You know, we're about to take 2 weeks off for Christmas, and we're already planning what we're going to do together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it.
You know? So working bees in the shop, it really gets like that.
Slip and
Oh,
slide in
true. You
Mikey's
got to
backyard.
like, oh, I see you, I see you, I see you.
Yeah, we
Oh,
do.
yeah. No, it's clicked. That's really good.
Yeah.
But
But
it's
it's
two compulsory weeks off, and we're talking about what days we can come in and
Yeah,
cut
yeah,
some
yeah,
more
yeah.
heads, like on
Yeah.
our break, you know.
That's it, man.
The rest of them are like, are we building a slip and slide at Mikey's house? Or
Barbecuing.
Off the roof, hopefully.
yeah.
Yeah, no, just get booming for that. Trust me. If there's one thing that man can do, it's
Barbecue.
cook a
Grill?
barbecue.
Okay.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
Yeah. You hear him, boom.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
He knows it.
Yeah.
It's like, don't pretend like you don't know. You know now.
Yeah.
Get here.
Nah, but, well, shit, I guess. Nah, it's sick. Oh, so, I don't know. For following usual structure, it's what's next. And it's hard because I know you all had the same goal, but I know individually you all want to do your own shit. So, I know, I'll start with Jake. What's next for you, bro?
Me personally, I just want to, I don't know, I really want to be the best possible like barber I can be, like work-wise, you know. Like that's my immediate focus. And everything else follows. But yeah, on a personal scale, I want to keep working on being as good as I can be at my job, and then I know following that, the rest comes, I guess, too, you know, in terms of like growth for the store. But yeah, I just want to be, and particularly for these guys too.
And is that you just got to keep doing the same thing you're doing now?
Yeah, I think so. Without, I mean, always learning and doing everything I can outside of work to push that too. But yeah, it's probably my main focus, my main immediate focus, I think, for sure.
Oh, I just thought of something.
Man.
Yeah, man, that's it.
I could be completely off. But what did you say the first time Jake's like, oh, I learnt this new thing off YouTube. Have a look.
Man, I love the passion.
True.
You know what I mean? And for me, I get around it, you know. I don't pretend to know anything about anything, you know. So, you know, and if I was to answer that question, I'd say the same thing. Just working at being the best goddamn barber I can be every single day, you know. I love that idea of, you know, waking up and striving for perfection, knowing that you never actually may, you know, reach that, you know, but it doesn't stop you from trying every day, you know. And that's what it's all about. I feel that. That's inspiring.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, we want the business. We want the business to keep growing and growing, but I feel like what I have to contribute is, like, personally, is for me to keep getting better and better, and through that, like, because it's a team, you know.
For sure.
If we're all on par, then the rest just comes, and it has been like that since
100%.
since the start.
But I guess that's the truth. Like, if the business grows, the three of you do as well.
Yeah,
straight up.
And so for that to happen, I guess it's double down. Be the best that you can possibly be.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, it's really interesting, again, coming from a corporate background, you know, they set you up and they give you these incremental, you know, promotions. I think about Kanye when they talk about this, but, you know, you can be the assistant manager's assistant, you know, secretary's manager or something like that. And they just keep setting you up for these tiny little wins, these incremental wins. And the most marvelous thing that happened as a barber is I'm a barber today. I'll be a barber in 10 years. You know what I mean? So I'm not sweating on anything else. I'm just trying to be a better barber every day, you know?
And it's funny because there's so much of a trap to that. Like, how am I aspiring for assistant or some shit?
Yeah.
It's like, it's like just pay an extra $5 and just
yeah.
like tell me my role's the same.
Yeah,
It's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
But then it's the opposite of that. It's when you don't get the assistant. You get demotivated. You get in your own head and you're like, what's wrong with me? Blah, 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 blah.
It's a bad setup.
Yeah, I definitely experienced that before.
I think, like, we'd all be lying if none of us said we have.
Yeah.
And it's just sick that... It's actually nuts that we can find our own lane amongst all of that. When everyone else is aspiring to do this and this, it's like, aspire to do whatever you want. But if you're comfortable in doing what you want to do and, like, that makes you happy, like, double down, triple down. Just keep doing that. Because we probably won't find it anywhere else.
That's true.
We really like, I don't know, that's how I feel anyway.
Yeah.
Like, we might get lucky, venture across some bullshit, but it's like, for that to happen...
You got to be in the right place and put yourself in the right place. So it's not really luck, is it, if you get yourself there?
Yeah, that's it.
It's just all on the individual. It's all on the individual.
Yeah.
But,
That's it.
I know, I guess we're at that time of the day. I'm curious to see how this will go because I've never asked 3 people at once. So I'm like, I don't know. I think I'll just ask it and whoever's got something to say at the time, say it. And we'll see what happens.
Yes.
But the Get Shorty crew, what's one thing that each of you wishes they were told as a youth?
I got one straight up. I was going to say, like, I'm sucking up or being corny, but it's from Mikey. I remember, like, real early on, he was just like, money follows passion. So, and that sounds, straight away, you're just like, spot on. But it makes sense, man. It's like, if you're really passionate about something, you're really working your ass off at it, everything else will follow.
Yeah, that's it.
True?
100%.
Yeah, and like he told me that real early on when I started to Get Shorty, and it just stuck with me. And I'm like, damn, I wish someone said that like however many years ago. It's crazy.
And the crazy thing about that, if you're passionate about it, you don't even want to be paid.
It doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's it.
you're happy. Like it's a win-win, whatever the scenario.
Yeah.
So,
100%.
yeah. Yeah.
It's actually nuts, isn't it? Like that's a whole societal thing. It's like we live in backwards for certain things, and it's like
100%.
chase money and then happiness comes. It's like
Nah.
good luck.
That's it, man. Yeah.
You're like, oh, that's what like
Yeah.
good
That's
luck.
crazy.
Yeah. I feel like it's such a societal pressure to be like to have achieved like a certain something by a certain age, do you know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Certain pay band or whatever.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like,
that's it.
doesn't matter, man.
And it's all like, because that comes back with aspiring to be the assistant's assistant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't really want to be there. You just want that pay band. It's like, nah. You know, like you said, if you're passionate about something, everything else will work out. Doesn't mean it's going to be, you know, the biggest or best, but it'll work out and everything will be sweet. You'll be happy with what you're doing, so it's all good.
Yeah, and like literally. So it's like you've got no reason to complain. And then if money comes, you're like sick.
Excellent.
You're
Yeah,
just
exactly
like,
Yeah,
right.
that's it.
Yeah, and you put it. You know, the best thing is putting that back into yourself as well. Put it back into the business, or put it back into helping someone else, or whatever. Like, yeah, it's sick.
because we're all aware that's how we continue to grow.
That's how it happens, man.
What about you two? Have you got anything? It's completely fine not to either.
Yeah. Probably not to have such a fear of failure. I think that's probably something I struggled with like a lot when I was a kid. It's probably the reason why I was watching videos of barbers cutting hair and stuff for 3 years before I actually decided to message somebody to even put the feelers out to maybe get into it, you know? It's like, oh, I don't know, like that'd be sick, but what if it takes me 3 years to get good at it, or, you know, is that time wasted and then I spend 3 years thinking about it and I could have been doing it for 3 years, you know? It's kind of applicable to everything. Like probably in my life for a while I was always apprehensive or like on the back foot because I was fear of failure, yeah. And probably could have been even better at like a lot of things in my life, you know.
It's
But
just real funny hearing this
Yeah.
now
Bro, I
when I
was
think
just
about this.
thinking the same
Because
thing.
Jake is the best motherfucking skater I know, right?
That was literally going through my head.
and it is the only time he
soft.
switches his brain off and has flow for days and
Okay.
style and grace, and has probably failed more times than any of us could imagine to get there. But by switching your brain off and just being in the moment, you know, that's you arrived as that incredible skater. So
Yeah.
it's kind of, you know, it's interesting hearing that out loud, you know. So
Dad's used to drive me to skate parks an hour away, and then if there's anybody else there, I'd sit in the car for 45 until they left. Though, you know, it's like,
Yeah.
didn't want to embarrass myself in front of anyone.
yeah,
so.
right.
But yeah,
That's-
well, respect to him for that.
That's actually nuts
Yeah.
though, because
Yeah.
like Mikey summarised it perfectly. It's like
Yeah,
you can't do a kickflip, jump on a board, kick it.
yeah,
That's it.
100 times over failure. you know?
Literally.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then with such style as well, ridiculous. But he's come a long way.
yeah.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
In the shop. It's incredible.
But even being in the store, like in that environment, I think has helped me push that. Dad's definitely
I
encouraged
think we've
me
even
to
spoken
break
about that.
that
Fail,
barrier
you know?
down for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah. You
for sure.
can't
Back
you know,
myself, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, give it a try, because no one walks out of the shop without
Mm.
you know, a complete shorty's cut. You know what I mean? So yeah, very early days encouraging that. You know, trial and error, really work to it, because we know that, you know, we've got a safe place to fail and then and to work back from
Sure.
that. So
But safe place to fail means vulnerability, which
Yeah,
allows
that's
for
it.
growth.
true,
That's it.
true.
Like it's honestly like the perfect recipe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was real, Jake too. I appreciate that. I really like
Humble.
just from everything. Yeah, everything I've seen, I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
because you are a good skateboarder. Cook a bomb,
Thank
saucy
you.
shit.
There's not much going up there at the moment.
Oh,
So
but
much
I
love.
appreciate it.
there's everything beforehand.
Yeah.
And then I guess that leaves one last person.
Yeah,
Dad,
man.
as a few of them like to call them.
Dad.
yeah. Apparently quotes for days. I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, look, do you, you know? If I was looking at, you know, Mini Mike, just do you, you know? I'm proud of where I've got to, man, and for the most part, that's been my compliance 100%. But there's been moments where I think back on it, I'm just like, I guess it was my lesson to learn, but the only time I had those lessons is when I stopped doing me, you know? So that's it's real important. And I guess the other one is, you know, nobody owes you anything, period. You know, when people are waiting for something to happen, like you think that the world owes you something, nuh-uh. You know, it's yours to take, and I'm a big believer in that. You know, so I'd say those two things. But for the most part, you know, it's been a wild ride. It's been a good one.
And it will continue to be.
Yeah.
But the most nuts thing about that is, if you're waiting for someone to give you something, you're gonna be waiting a hell of a long time.
Yeah.
It'll never come.
That should get boring.
Yeah,
Oh, real quick.
yeah.
And knowing that, like, that does, I think, more damage than it does good. You're like, why doesn't no one give me something?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
How do people know what I, like, how come no one doesn't understand what I want?
That's it.
Yeah.
It's like, because you're just sitting there,
That's it.
waiting,
Yep.
Yeah.
not communicating at all, not
Uh-huh.
doing anything to help yourself.
Uh-huh.
It's like, is that ever going to come?
Mm-hmm.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, and that's, we take it back to what Jake was saying, but I'm a big believer why skaters are such good barbers, and barbers, you know, do take the place of psychologists and whatnot, but, you know, because of that trial and error, you know, we're really not afraid. We've done that trick 1,000 times, you know, and we don't become complacent. We want to nail it. We want to perfect it. That's the same as barbers. It's very repetitive, you know what I mean? But we want it. We're passionate. No one owes us anything. We know we're not going to get there until we put the time in, you know what I mean? So that's super important, you know, because it's a grind. It's a grind, man, but one that we love. And as I said, I look at it like Sudoku. Every single cut that sits down, it's a new puzzle, you know, a new strategy. I don't look at it as a day. I look at it in the moment for the moment.
Because everybody's got a different shaped head.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
it.
Like,
Yeah.
there could be like, fuck, look at the three of us.
Yeah.
None of our haircuts
Yeah.
are the same at all.
That's
It's
it.
like,
Yeah, completely.
JD's is the worst for sure. His head.
We got his good side.
It's
you know?
actually-
Yeah.
the shaking
Yeah.
head just
Straight up,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, you watch these dudes do 14 haircuts a day, and then the last thing I want to do is get my mung head there, being like, can I get a haircut as well?
Yeah, I feel
So
bad.
I just know it's
morning
the
now,
worst
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, like, we wouldn't have got to where we are if we didn't have,
Yeah.
I guess, that determination to get there ourselves. You know what I mean? I've seen barbers come through and want to be a barber instantly, and they last a week, they last 2 weeks. You know, I haven't been in the industry all that long. I have a while now, but I've seen people come and go several times over. You know, so
what do you think is the difference there?
they want it now. They want it now. You know, they're chasing something again that's, I don't know, when external, you know, happiness, where we're really working on intrinsic, you know, happiness. You know, it's doing it every day for ourselves. As I said, with striving for perfection, knowing that we may never achieve it. You know, where I feel like a lot of people want that now, and they realize it takes a long time to learn a switch heel flip. You know, and wow,
Like, you got
yeah,
switch heel
yeah,
flip.
yeah.
Like, first got to learn the ollie, the normal heel flip.
That's his warm up trick, by the way. But
Jesus.
yeah.
Someday.
But the same, barbering's the same. You know, so it's nobody owes you anything. If you want anything, you got to go out there and do it, one head at a time, one switch heel flip at a time.
Literally.
Yeah.
One or two.
Yeah.
No.
But then, like, even on that, and just how everybody wants things now. If you want something now, the only thing you're going to get now is fast food.
I like it.
Yeah.
But,
That ain't
like,
helping anyone.
bro, we got to look at that from, like, the creative perspective. And I consider what you boys doing as, like, you're artists. Like, you're sculpting a mold. So, like, how am I supposed to just pick that up and learn it instantly? It's like, there's not like a cutout quarter pounder that I can just apply to every single person.
Yeah, but people don't get that, you know. And again, it's that fear of failure, you know. As soon as you get past that, you know, and dedicate yourself to it, you'll get there.
There's no real timeline on it either. You
No,
know? Which is
no,
probably why
no.
people fall out of it too. You know, you go into it not knowing whether like you'll be like competent in like 6 months or 12 months or 3 years. You know, so you kind of just have to go into it, put your head over it,
Put your head over it.
put your head over it, and
Have a dip, mate.
Yeah.
crack. Yeah.
They're just
All day, man, all day.
all day.
Yeah.
Good.
No, but then, like, that doesn't surprise me either coming from you. Like,
Yeah.
that's one thing we know is, like, skating. You just got to send it.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Send it,
more
yeah.
speed helps.
Yeah.
You can't explain, like, it's
Almost
that stuff.
always.
Oh.
Yeah.
And you can't explain that. Kids are like, why is it not happening? I'm like,
Yeah.
you need 2 more pushes.
Yeah, that's
Wow,
it.
yeah.
And they're like, but we go really quick.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
You speed
You'll clear the
checking
whole
that.
thing.
Yeah. 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 Back that.
Oh, but then, now we, like, but I guess it's how we learn. We got to take one push and don't
Yo.
get far.
Skating is a metaphor
Very true.
for life. We
Yeah.
100% we use it in the shop all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also nuts because it also provides so many opportunities. Because you're around people that want to do the same shit. And I think, like, it's weird. I can't remember who said it. And I could be absolutely wrong in, like, quoting them. But they were like, skate park is like the early learning place for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you learn what you can and can't get.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, you learn what you can and can't say.
Mm.
Like, you learn
Yeah.
like what you can and
Learn that
can't do around a specific
Real
group
quick
of
as
people.
well.
Early
Yeah.
too, yeah.
Real
Yeah. It's like, cut that person off after he drops in and, like,
Yeah. Etiquette.
Yeah. Manners.
It,
Yeah.
it is like,
Everything.
it's the same kind of community vibe though, right? Like what we speak
Yeah.
about the shop. Like all three of us have come from that background. Like Mikey grew up skating St Kilda Road for years and
That's-
years,
yeah.
right?
Jesus.
Before it-
Big
yeah.
ledge dogging it. But same as like JD too. Like we all grew up skating, so I guess that like relating back to what Mikey said about it translating probably that the whole community thing, like people from all different walks are doing it and surrounding each other too, you know. from
It's
like
a
an
different education.
Yeah, for sure.
Straight up.
For sure.
And it's literally that. It's an education that you can only find surrounding yourself with different people.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because you rock to a skate park, like, me and you can have the
Yeah.
same passion.
Yeah.
We will not have the same stance. Like, we will not dress the same. Like,
That's
we
it.
will be two individuals.
Yeah. 100%.
And then we come together to learn a trick.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's nuts. And in that whole process,
Yeah.
like, the door opens up to have conversations about anything and everything.
That's
Mhm.
it.
Mm.
Brotherhood.
Literally. Comes
Yeah.
full 360 again.
Yeah. Hey.
No, but I guess tell the people where they can find you, and we'll just start somewhere, and then we'll just finish with the last person.
Where they can find me?
Yeah.
81 Little Malop Street. Tuesday to Saturday.
Tuesday to the yard.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah.
And then, well, what's your Instagram and stuff?
Oh,
People want to know
Crooked
that.
Bonk. Yeah, Crooked Bonk. Not related. It's my favourite skate trick. Not a joke related to my nose. That's something.
That's already a job.
No one noticed until now.
Sorry,
No one
I have a
noticed.
crooked
bro.
nose
Yeah,
on my
yeah.
bad side
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
off
Yeah,
it.
too.
Yeah, you're beautiful.
So
to
off
us,
it.
man.
Watch
Nah,
everyone go
visually.
back through this video and look at your nose the whole time.
It
now.
is too.
Yeah.
Sold it.
There's so much. As soon as you said,
Yeah.
I was like, huh?
For reference, you can have a side profile of both sides. Yeah,
Jeez.
it's getting worse.
Oh wow.
And then Get Shorty if you want to book
Get
in.
Shorty, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
book in.
yeah.
Jake, he's good at what he does.
Tuesday, Saturday,
That's it. You might even do a switch heel flip for you.
maybe.
Yeah.
Mullet
On the-
specialist.
Yeah. On the broom.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, maybe.
All
And
right.
Mikey, plug yourself, bro.
Yo, come at me. Get shorty.
Yeah,
You know,
that's it.
find me. Yeah. Aside from that, that's it. Come
It's probably
through.
the easiest
Doing the
place to
hard
find
yeah,
him,
yards,
isn't
yeah.
it?
doing the
That's
hard
it.
yards always.
Yeah,
Not just office hours either, right?
that's it.
No,
No.
someone's got to put in all the work behind the
It is, man.
scenes.
It is.
These boys, my eyes and ears these days. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm rescinding from socials, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm loving it. It's just everything into the show, you know.
Yeah.
So if you come through, man, that's a great honor for us. So
Yeah.
yeah, come find us.
You want to learn anything about passion, just watch this man.
Yeah, straight up.
100%.
Yeah.
And they offer a safe enough space, like, feel free just to sit in and just say what's up.
Oh, you never yeah. Just come
That's
hang
what I used
out.
to do.
Yeah.
Like, for the longest
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Bring some food,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
hang
yeah,
out.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a bit easy. Like, you know, you'd be walking around, I'd be like, oh, yeah, I can go have a conversation here.
Yeah.
And then it was just convenient what I was doing at the time. And then JD, tell the people where they can find you, bro.
Get Shorty, as always, just hanging out with these two idiots and whoever wants to come through. And then, I guess Instagram, JD Dollar. That's,
It'll all be
just come to
popping
Get
up and
Shorty.
stuff.
Yeah.
Come to Get
A
Shorty.
few model shots on that
Yeah,
profile.
it's a couple.
Get out of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
couple,
Don't
yeah.
scroll too far down, otherwise you'll see some pretty
Yeah,
average
yeah.
selfies.
Oh, that's a challenge.
Yeah,
I love it.
no, don't do that.
No, they'll be doing that. They'll be like, let me just go see.
Oh, no, it's not worth it.
How's that side fringe? Just come a long
Don't
way.
waste your time.
Jake's been there. He's just like, oh, I know.
Oh, yeah, man.
It reminds
Side
me all
fringe,
the
rat
time.
tails, all of it.
That's it.
And the rat tail.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
True.
You had pink hair one stage too.
I
right?
had pink tips.
Only
Yeah.
to dye it
Pink
blonde, though,
tips.
right?
Pink tips, yeah.
There's a story there.
Mum wouldn't let me bleach my hair.
So you
So-
just tipped it pink.
Why, yeah, she's like, well, why don't you just get pink or something like that? So I asked the hairdresser, and she's like, we have to dye it blonde underneath to be able to put the pink in. So I was like, just do it, because school
Clever,
are going
right?
to send me home the next day. Went to school, first teacher I saw, I was like waving my hair at him. He was like, that's not natural. You got to get that out. And I was like, I will. Went back to the hairdresser the next day, stripped it, and had blonde tips.
Boom.
Winner.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Mum. I never told her that.
So he gets paid the big
Expensive for her, but
Yeah.
I was pretty young. I was like 13 or something.
bucks. Love it.
Yeah, hairdressers aren't cheap.
No,
It's
I
like,
know.
go to a barber, like
Yeah,
you'll
yeah,
save
right.
heaps of
That's
money.
it. Yeah,
Heaps of money.
yeah.
But shit, do we think we have anything else to tell the world?
Man,
It's good vibes, good cuts.
that's
Yeah,
it.
That's
All
it.
day, every
That's
day.
what we strive for.
Mm.
Different kind of genius. Get around that too.
Yeah, thanks for
Shout out
having
to
us.
Dre. Thanks for having
Yeah,
us.
No, boys,
You're the
thank
man.
you so much for coming.
No,
Appreciate
it's a
it,
pleasure.
Like,
sure.
we said it from the start. It
Yeah.
was logistically going to be hard.
Yeah.
And not only that, coordinated 3 people to have the same
Yeah.
availability. Like, it's all come together. I couldn't thank you boys anymore.
I appreciate
Thank you,
it.
man.
And it's like, as I all said, if you look for a safe space for men, and anyone really, get Shorty. Pull up on them. Don't even have to get a haircut. Just go say what's up.
That's it.
Yeah, come through.
None of these people will bite. And if you're lucky, you probably get a switch here.
You don't even have to ask. He just does that shit.
Like the board's there, just
Looking
sort of
for
like
an
take it and
chance,
like
yeah.
kick it his way, and he'll be
Right.
like, "Oh, here we go."
I know what to do with this.
In docs, no less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
If you switch heel and docs, I'll be like,
Oh, it's happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, like be cutting hair all day, be on his feet, not even near
Swipe
a skateboard.
right for link. We'll send it through. Yeah.
Yeah,
Straight up, just won't even warm up, nothing, just jump straight on it, straight across Little Malop St, switch heel.
"That's when you know you got on lock."
Disgusting.
Yeah.
It's like upsetting how good he is at it.
Oh yeah, bro. None of that. I can't heel flip for shit.
Oh, I got
I
no,
can't do a switch.
I can't normal heel
I
for
got
it.
nothing.
True.
No, I reckon I've done one maybe my whole life. Yeah,
But
like
then you
that's
get it
that,
switched.
I mean, that
He's only tried
honestly,
one in his whole life. So he's-
And he nailed it, yeah.
It's like the whole kick
Bolts.
it out,
Yeah, yeah.
fly
Straight up
3
bolts.
meters, but yeah,
Yeah, then I guess. Oh,
I don't know. It's never felt right.
no, which is fair. Which is fair. But I guess shit. Thank you so much for coming on, boys.
Thank you, man.
Thanks for having
And
us,
I'm,
man.
like, I'm sure there'll be like we'll do stuff in the future together.
You know what?
100%.
We will. We
Yeah.
will. But shit, I guess that's it. Big thanks to our sponsors once again. You know who they are by now. Liam, you know what to do. Stay safe. Peace out. One love. Boys, can't shake all your hands, but back is all up in
Thanks,
individually.
Appreciate
Shake
it.
with the
Appreciate
stretch.
that, bro.
Got it.
Bang.
Boom.
That's it.